Okay, hey y'all. So the purpose of this recording is just to show you how to keep track of all of the new students that are going to be dropping into your classes over the next several weeks. Hopefully that's not going to be too many, but it's hard to know, like, when you've sent an email to somebody who's new, when you haven't. And so the easiest way, well, there was kind of a couple ways that people do this, and I'm going to show you my way because I think it's the best way, but there is another way that people were doing it, but I've noticed some of the defaults have changed about the release and unreleased grades, and so not sure if it will work exactly the same, but anyway, I'm going to show you my way. If you want more information about the other way, then let me know and I'll see if I can't figure it out for you. So the way that I keep track of new students that are coming in is by creating a special column in my gradebook called the start date. And so to put a new column in your gradebook, you just go to Manage Grades and you click on New in an item, and you get to choose what kind of grade item type you want, and I just typically choose text because it doesn't have a point value assigned to it or anything. So I'm just going to call this Start Date Demo. And then you want to probably set your restrictions on it so that your students can't see it, because it's really just for your information. It's not really for theirs. So and then you just save and close that. And when you get back to your Manage Grades screen, it's going to be way down at the bottom. So you can see right here where the Start Date Demo is. And I want it to be the first thing in my gradebook. I want it to be the first thing that I see about my students. And so you just click on Reorder. And then scroll all the way to the bottom. And I usually just make my start date number 1. And then save it, and it'll shoot it up to the top of your gradebook. Okay. So what I do is I typically wait, honestly, until like the last possible minute to send that welcome email to my students, because I want like the maximum number of students like put into the OLS before I send that email. And so pretty much I would say the OLS, by the time the weekend before school starts gets here, the OLS pretty closely matches your gradebook. And so what I would do is I'll go to the OLS and I'll send my welcome email to all of my students that are listed in the OLS. And then as soon as I get done sending that email, I'll go to my start date and I'll click on Grade All. And I'll basically set whatever day that I sent that email. Like, so let's say that I sent that on 8/19, which means these students should start on 8/20, the first day of school. I just put 8/20 in all of their boxes. So, and that way I know two things. I know the date that they should have started, and I know that I sent my welcome email. And so I'll just save and close that. Okay. And then let's say on Monday morning I get up and I realize I've got 10 new students that I didn't have yesterday. And so how am I supposed to know which ones of those students I'm supposed to send an email to? Well, all you have to do is go back to your start date demo and look to see who doesn't have a start date. And if they don't have a start date, then it means that you haven't sent the email to them. And so I would go back through and send an email to everybody that had a blank field under my start date demo. And then immediately after I send them the email, I would put whatever their start date should be. So if I told them that they need to get started with us on Wednesday of that week, then I would put that as their start date. And basically I do that every day up until enrollment kind of ends and those last kids are dropped in. I just keep going back every day and checking my start date to see if I got new students or if I didn't. So again, there's probably some other ways to do it. I feel like this kills two birds with one stone because it gives me information about when that student was supposed to start, and it also gives me information to know when a new student has dropped in and I need to send them a welcome email. That's my idea. Hopefully it helps some of you, and if you have any questions about the other way, I can play around with it a little bit. It doesn't give you quite as much information as the start date does, but I think this is super helpful. It saves me a lot of time digging through a spreadsheet or something like that, trying to figure out who dropped in since yesterday or the day before. So let me know if you have questions. All right, thanks.